And I think this is a good way to kind of segue over to the revenue cascade because we've started to talk a little bit about metrics. We started to talk about where marketing agencies fit in this, and we've talked about sales plan and what is steering that. And there's
Mm.
a lot of talk about tactics. And like there's a lot of noise, and not a bad noise, like I totally agree. It's strategy before tactics.
Tactics are necessary to implement the strategy,
100%. 100%.
but you still need that strategy.
And I think that's the tough part is a lot of business owners like we need more strategic people. Well, where does the strategy come from? Do you just happen to have somebody with some pixie dust? I'm not that smart. I've never been that smart. And so I started to realize, and then this comes back to the lab world, that with numbers, I could start to make some good guesses and some hypothesis about
Mhm.
what to do. And so that's actually strategizing. And so revenue cascade is in simplest terms possible. It is the simple math of broad awareness, how many people your brand needs to touch, how many people need to generate be like interested to make a decision on your website, take some sort of action, like reach out to you, fill out a contact form, schedule a call, how many people you need to talk to, how many people you need to present your solution to, how many people you need to send a proposal to, and how many people then ultimately buy. And if you can measure from top to the bottom and understand that flow, you all of a sudden know where things are broken and you can hypothesize, strategize on how to fix them, and then design and execute tactics that close the leaks in that funnel or pipe. Isn't that funny that they're both water oriented and I call it revenue cascade? There you go.
Love it, love it. But it is so true though, right? Numbers don't lie. And when I bring on numbers people onto the show, we agree wholeheartedly. But then the business owner is so involved in chasing customers and putting out fires that they don't understand that the data tells you really good information. And if you can formulate it in the way that you just did, and having that kind of sales formula, right? Of what are my conversions at each phase? How many people do I need to have at the top to pull out somebody at the bottom that throws me their credit card, right? And
100%.
it is just numbers. And once you have that number, you can make improvements on it. If my conversion at this one is 20, but my conversion down here is 3, what can I do to get that up to 5? That's how you can improve things. And it is really that simple when you're aware of it.
Yeah, and it's hard. It is really hard. But this is when, I love to unlock the CEO, is because when I can present this in a black and white scenario, suddenly they just explode in solutions and they're like, oh, I know what to do here. I know exactly what to do here. And it's like, it doesn't have to be hard.
Mm-mm.
It takes a little discipline to care about the mathematics. Now, Neil deGrasse Tyson talked about this, and I'm how do consumers consume information? Well, I'm really guilty. I scroll on my videos, and I get in loops with him. And anyway, he talks about that statistics, the mathematical concept of statistics, the average came long after, mathematically, in mathematical chronological order, after calculus, after algebra, because we are not, and this is all his ideation, but I just thought it was
I
brilliant.
cried through my 2 statistic classes, by the way. They were so frustrating, but I made
Well,
it through. And
human
it was like
brains
once I got it, it was like, "Oh," it was crazy.
Human brains are not wired to really look at statistical probability. We're story makers and meaning makers. And so that's why people will go to a roulette table, see that it's been black, 6 times in a row and put $100 on red and be like, there's no way it's gonna, and it's like, it's still less than 50-50 because of those other green circles that they have. But my point is still the same. It hasn't changed because there's 6 black in a row. It's still a, relatively 50-50 chance. But that's the hard part for most people.